Hello and welcome back to Dungeons and Deductibles, everyone's favorite game and possibly the only game about fantasy insurance claims adjusters. I'm Danielle and I will be your DM today. Glad to be back after a week off last week, so we're gonna hop right in and see what we can find this week. I'm gonna go around and let my players introduce themselves and their characters. This week we will start with Hannah.
Excuse me. My name is Hannah. I am playing Poppy, the halfling chaos magic warlock. Her patron is Mayhem himself. And we're going to have some fun today.
Yeah. We'll see. Next is Robert.
All right, I'm Robert, otherwise known as Hawkeye or Kentucky Hawkeye. I am playing Scandalon Obadias IV. He is a paladin of the Temple of Helm, and he has found an interesting quest and calling, and that is helping out investigating claims at this insurance company. Kind of an unusual call for a paladin, but it turns out my services here, at least in the past, have definitely been needed.
They have. And
really helpful.
There's a lot of evil going on around these insurance companies. I wonder why. Next is Jake.
I'm Jake. I'll be playing Red Fireson, the Fire Genasi warlock of the Great Old One and new recruit to insurance in general, but this company also. So, yeah.
Yeah. And last but not least, Cynthia. You're muted.
How about now?
That's better.
Okay. Hi, I'm Cinchu, and I've been playing Mildred Crabtree, a blue gnome monk/bard.
Yes, I still love that she's blue. And has completely changed her wardrobe to accommodate.
That's never going to wear off, unfortunately.
We have discovered that it's just not going away. It's not temporary.
Yeah,
Nope,
I've not been able to learn the greater bleach spell yet for you.
All right, so since it's been 2 weeks since we've played, a quick recap is in order. Last time, after discovering that Zephyr's fire in her warehouse was a fraud, was set intentionally, and denying her claim, the four of you went sewer diving in an attempt to figure out if there was anything nefarious going on with this particular incident. And sure enough, in the sewers directly underneath the warehouse, you found a very ominous-looking symbol that was radiating necrotic energy and was not very fun to touch either, as we found out firsthand. Scandalon tried to dispel it, and so did so did Red, I believe. Both attempts failed. And however, Mildred was able to identify it and get a little bit of a sense of what it did. That it had something to do with draining the life out of things. And Scandalon, the head cleric at your temple was able to tell you a little bit more. She has seen these symbols before and knows that they are very powerful dark magic that can be used to siphon not the life out of people necessarily, but the life out of businesses. And so this is some sort of corporate warfare. And you guys did some research led by Red and Mildred at the records of Waterdavian Farm, and you found that very early on in the company's history, there had been a period of time where insurance fraud rates were extremely high, and it seemed like Mayhem had done something to tamp down on that and prevent fraud from really even being possible for the company. But now that Mayhem is gone and no longer associated with Waterdavian Farms anymore, it seems like whoever or whatever was doing this is back. And then the four of you went for a fun little excursion to other insurance companies in Waterdeep, which I feel like I wrote down somewhere.
Yeah, I've got them here. Wyco, Regressive, Peasants, All City, and Cityside.
There we go. You made trips to all of these companies to try to get them to agree to share their records, specifically their records pertaining to insurance fraud. And none of them were very cooperative to start. Most of them said they'd have to clear it with legal, etc., since you were asking for some sensitive data. You had put together a map, I believe, with the locations of these incidents. And that's kind of where we left off, with everyone dispersing to go home for the day, take a long rest. If there's anything anyone particularly wanted to do overnight, speak now. Forever hold your peace.
Read the manual.
Yeah.
Do I take intelligence damage or wisdom damage?
Psychic damage.
Yeah, there's probably a little bit of psychic damage associated with that. But as long as you read it before you go to bed, you're probably going to be okay in the morning. Probably.
Oh, okay. Nightmares about paperwork?
Yeah. Nightmares about paperwork and probably other things.
Mm-hmm.
But nothing you can't handle.
Okay, excellent.
And I will say you probably don't get through the whole thing. It is a very long manual.
Yeah, I figured.
Anybody else have an evening activity?
Just prayer and devotions and a little bit of time of prayer penance for the lie I had to tell that poor old man that got flung into the air from Poppy's wild magic when I had to heal him.
Oh my god, I forgot about that. Yes. Yes, you can go to confession if Helm's clerics have a similar thing to the way Catholics do. Mm-hmm. And
I'm sure there's a certain
Helm,
ceremonial prayer.
I ask you to be with the starving goblins of Stillben.
Yeah, there's probably like a Hail Helm prayer or something, and your confessor assigns you a dozen Hail Helms and an Our Lord or something like that,
and a couple of Ioun specials, couple of our Iouns.
Yeah,
and probably have to read the whole book of Hezekiah.
Iouns instead of IOUs. Hey!
Nice.
Yeah, you spend a little bit of time doing your prayers, atoning for telling this white lie in the grand scheme of things, but still a lie.
I feel like I was supposed to drag Poppy shopping again, but I can't remember what for.
Shoes.
Probably shoes.
Because of the sewer, but then
because the sewer messed up your shoes.
The levitation though protects Poppy.
Yeah, but she has really good taste, so I need her.
Fair enough.
Unfortunately, I have a plan, and that is I'm going home and I'm going to get a glass of wine, and I'm going to do. It's Wine and Bumble. Bumble being a bee-based druidic network that
Bumbler?
Yeah, I was going to say, is it Bumbler?
Bumble.
A bee-based druidic dating network?
It's a halfling dating app. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, a halfling dating app would involve bees, probably.
And pies.
Bumble. Yeah, there's like a Bumble hive at like every corner. Because, I live in a halfling, live a lot.
Either buzz left or you buzz right.
So, Yeah, you swipe it, the bee comes to you and it tells you about the person, and then you swipe it away like this if you want it, and swipe, or if you want to go see them, and then they'll like take you to them. It's like a really cool thing. It's a nice startup. So
Does Poppy own
they have them
stock?
like on it.
Poppy started that company.
I got a cousin that owns it. It's fine. It's not a racket. It's totally legit this time.
It's a totally legit.
It's not like those
this time
you put on every corner.
Okay, yeah, so you can go home and do some swiping on Bumble. Mildred, do you have anything in particular you do over the course of the evening?
Since Poppy is busy, I'll drag one of my aunts out shopping and just have some, girl time.
Okay, yeah.
Whoever's not busy tonight entertaining.
Yeah, I'm sure you can definitely find one of your aunts to go shopping with you. All right. So you all get a nice, mostly peaceful night of sleep. Red, yours is maybe a little bit more disturbed. Just, that handbook. But
Oh, I'm a horrible person, and I apologize for this interruption.
that's okay.
But I just realized what brand of running shoes I'm going to have. Air Genasi. Thank you.
I'm
Who's
so
worth
glad
it?
we
Redhead.
created this world together.
Meanwhile, Red has nightmares of demon-possessed quill pens and disappearing
I
ink
hate it.
and papers going in spontaneously combusting
Yep.
as he fills them out. I know, because those are the nightmares I had when I went through the manual.
Oh, Lord. Yeah, okay. So, again, a mostly peaceful night. In the morning, you all wake up. It is bright and sunny and Waterdeep today. And who's getting to the office when?
20 minutes early.
I
feel
have to
like-
get here an hour early now because I actually run a department. I didn't think this through.
I'm there right on time, as usual.
I thought it would be great, but
So I think Red is going to hit the snooze on his alarm, but still he's not going to be early, but he doesn't want to be late. It's going to be like cutting it close type of thing, because that manual just did a number on him.
That reminds me, when you wake up, you can see that Shafafana is still with you.
No. It's not. You just contact other plane once. This is. Oh, what's up, Shafafana?
When you work for Waterdavian Farm, you're all in for everything.
Yeah, pretty much.
I'm Blue. You are accompanied. We'll get these other two.
And I'm
Yes.
surrounded by evil.
So, Red wakes up and thinks he smells breakfast, but when he gets up, he doesn't see breakfast, and Shafafana is just standing there, and he goes, "No, I thought you were making breakfast." "No, you. I'm not. No, I'm not making breakfast." And then he freaks out and runs out of his house and tries to get to work because he realizes he's late.
All right. So in that case, I guess Poppy, you're gonna arrive a little early, probably a little bit disgruntled, since you have a department to run these days. But you're probably not too much
because
earlier.
I keep every morning I remember I have to get up early.
Yeah, being in upper
Yeah,
management.
I'm gonna go up. Yeah, I'm gonna go upstairs, and I'm gonna go, and I'm gonna do my paper, and I'm gonna, go over my notes from yesterday, and I'm gonna throw all the ones that I took about the new guy in the trash, because it's like I was just doing it to like screw with him, but like right now I'm not feeling it, and so like I throw those in there, I'm just like and wait for someone to bring me my morning coffee. So
Okay.
So that's it.
Your secretary will bring you some coffee after probably 15-20 minutes have gone by, something along that. She brings it in, whatever your
Thank you.
standard order is.
Lavender, thank you. Here, please. I need my coffee. Mama needs her coffee.
Wow.
She says, "Do you need another one, Miss Poppy?
What?
Do you need another coffee, Miss Poppy?"
Give me the pot. Yeah, it's fine. No one else needs it more than me.
Okay.
Your Mork has his own fancy magical coffee maker in his room.
I feel like Mork drinks tea. I'm not sure we actually settled this, but I feel like Mork drinks tea.
Mork's so neurotic, he probably doesn't need either.
Need is a different word than want.
Yeah.
Anyway, yes, she will bring you the whole pot of coffee. Not in the pot, though. Like, she'll bring you just an assortment of cups.
Yeah.
Because the pot needs to stay in the break room.
I'll just shotgun the whole pot, man.
So you're just
The brown potion
doing
of
a
greater
line of
consciousness.
coffee.
Yes, that's what it is. Greater consciousness, yes, absolutely.
Okay. Yeah, so Mildred, what do you do when you arrive in the morning?
She has like a Tervis tumbler. Well,
Say again?
I said, Mildred, what do you do when you arrive in the morning?
I go around the cubicles and see if anybody has died overnight while working late.
A genuine danger. Yes.
What?
Overwork. The number 2 cause of death at Waterdavian Farms. You don't want to know what
Number 1 is board meetings, right?
Maybe.
It used to be.
Yeah, previously. Yeah, you do a quick turn around the office. You don't
Remember last week? Mm-hmm.
You don't see any new corpses, so that's a good sign.
That is a good sign. I will then celebrate by going and getting breakfast burritos, because I'm pretty sure that those improved along with the tacos.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like everyday tacos is a thing now that Mork is in charge.
Yeah. Taco 1030 has replaced Taco Tuesday entirely.
Yeah, it's just
There's
eternal
also
Taco Tuesday.
230.
You've got eternal Taco Tuesday. Whoa, what is going on? Your screen size just keeps changing.
It's a wild magic effect.
There's something wrong with my connection in this computer, so I'm like way behind y'all, I think, but I'm trying to fix
The wild
it.
magic has invaded her laptop.
Yep.
The chaos magic. Woo!
It keeps happening. Oh God. Okay. Sorry, I'm so sorry, y'all.
You're fine. Yeah, so Mildred, there are no new corpses, but there are
No new
breakfast
corpses.
burritos. So
I celebrate with a pair of breakfast burritos, and thus have nowhere to keep my stale coffee, because I'm sure it's always stale. It's okay. I have water, and I go back to my desk and just start jotting down notes from yesterday between bites of one of the burritos.
Okay. Yeah, and you did a lot of your paperwork yesterday, so there's not a whole lot left.
Yeah, but like thinking over stuff in your head always makes things a little more clearer. So I edit notes here and there because I'm pretty sure I need to wait until my team arrives before we can go back out and do things.
Yeah, and you'll notice too that there is sort of the standard note on your desk saying, to come meet Karen to get your next case.
Can Red get there since he hasn't eaten and try the oatmeal?
Yeah.
Ooh, brave soul.
Bless your heart.
He likes oatmeal, so he would definitely be not believing how bad it is.
Yeah, I would say if you're like booking it out, having realized you snoozed your alarm too many times, you arrive just on time at the same time as Scandalon, but a little bit more out of breath.
Yeah, of course.
I see him rushing, so I hold the door open for him so he can not have to break his stride.
Oh, thank you. You're too kind. And you see as he's passing, his beard is like starting to smolder a little bit because he's freaking out being late, but it's not on fire.
And I wait a couple extra seconds to make sure Shafana makes it through the door as well.
I think Red,
even though I can't see him.
Sure, that Red is mad at him right now, so I think Red would just be ignoring Shafafana and yeah.
Okay.
As I go in, first thing I do is the usual thing, go to Mildred. Anyone I need to lay on hands for last night?
Surprisingly, no. Everybody appears to have made it out intact.
Ah, good. I can save those for later. Then I go and grab 2 or 3 breakfast burritos for myself, and then go to my desk and pull out my tea skin.
Tea skin? That sounds really, I don't know, somehow inappropriate. I feel like I'm Laura Bailey in this moment.
Instead of coffee, it's got tea inside. It's a wineskin with tea inside.
Right. The other kind of, yeah, you know what? Go, ignore me. I'm going to stop talking now because I'm horrible.
Okay. Red, there is plenty of stale oatmeal in the break room.
Yeah, doesn't it? But how bad can stale oatmeal really be if you're adding hot water to it? I mean, wouldn't the worry be that? We lost one.
We lost Poppy.
Wouldn't the worry be that it had grown mold or something like that?
Yeah. I mean, that's a distinct possibility.
I've never had stale oatmeal, is what Jake has never had stale oatmeal, I don't think. And I'm just trying to figure out what it would be like. Unless it's magically stale or something Red and Jake doesn't know about the oatmeal.
Well, it's not like there's a sign that says stale oatmeal. It just says oatmeal.
Okay. Yeah, he'll cook some up. And are there any spices around or anything?
There's probably like a little bit of sugar, but it's gotten that way sugar gets when it's been sitting for a while, where it starts to kind of like clump up.
Yeah. He would put some in there and slowly add more as it needed it.
Okay.
I'm not like am I gonna take need to make a con save here or
no, the oatmeal is not that bad.
Okay.
Fortunately.
Yeah. I think he'd be into it. Still into tacos, but definitely into oatmeal.
Oh, we got a fresh batch of stale oatmeal in this time?
What's the deal with the oatmeal, Scandalon? Is it just everyone told me it would be so bad, and it even mentioned it in the manual that stale oatmeal is a perk.
They seem to think that eating it builds character.
Okay, yeah.
Oh no.
Hey, Poppy.
Poppy's back. Woo.
Back.
All right. I was trying to fix the overlay, and now I will go back and fix it again.
I'm so sorry, guys.
You're all right. No worries.
Well, no, I'm concerned because you actually know where I sleep. So,
Oh.
the vision of my DM floating above my bed to curse me with, like, I don't know, forever bad rolls is like a real fear of mine.
It's definitely one of our powers.
That's my secret superpower. No.
He's scary, y'all.
Okay, yes. So you all have a note on your desk to meet Karen back at, except for Poppy.
Oh,
Yeah, but Poppy, you
It's a
would know.
coffee bean.
Like you
Right
have
here.
like a schedule of like when these meetings are being handed out, so that you can follow them around.
so I know when to go.
Yeah, so you can do your performance appraisal.
Okay.
But the other three of you would have a note on your desk, which is sort of standard. Although, Reddit's your second day, so you may not be as familiar with this process yet. But there is a note on your desk saying, to report to the conference room at 9:30 to get your next case file.
Yeah, Red would be much like the person playing him would be have anxiety about being constantly late for the rest of the day if they were worried about being late from the beginning of the day. So he would see the note and just freak out and start running towards the conference room without even looking at a clock.
Early.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, you get there and there's no one there yet.
And then he would check the clock. Is it an hour and a half?
You're probably just like 20 minutes early or something like that.
Okay.
Not quite that.
He'll sit down and it's just no paper around.
No, it's just an empty conference room right now.
Okay. Yeah, I guess he'd just sit there and wait.
Just pull up a chair.
Yeah.
When the moment comes, when it's about 5 minutes till meeting time, I'll go around everybody's desk and look for them and be like, time to head out. Go over to Poppy's office. Knock, knock, knock. Miss Poppy, meeting? You coming?
Yes.
Shall we just meet you there?
And I have like those really cool like Dracula sunglasses on because I had too much halfling wine last night. What? What? Yes.
Are you still with us this week?
Oh yes, I'm with you the rest of the week. It's fine. Yeah.
Okay.
Give me
we'll need
just
to meet Karen.
a second. Do you have a Bumble? You need to get on Bumble.
I
Spent all night with Bumble. It was great.
I don't. Should I just meet you at the conference room?
I'm the HR director. It's okay to talk to me about outside of work stuff. I could think we're friends. Is that a thing?
Talk about outside
I kind
stuff all the time.
sometimes, when it's kind of like awkward, and now that I do HR, I got to be careful,
Sure.
So-
Although, personally, I'm probably not going to report you to you. So.
Yeah, I'll be down in a second.
Okay. I'll head on. Snag Scandalon on the way.
Mhm.
And offer him the other burrito.
That means so much. Halfling told me. Oh, no.
Are you okay, Hannah?
Oh,
No, I just saw halflingsonly.com and it got me.
I'm not allowed to use that site because I'm not a halfling.
Halflingsonly.com.
Totally makes sense.
All right. Yes, so you all arrive at the conference room probably around the same time as Karen walks in to see that Red is, seated there alone, just waiting.
I am exactly 4 minutes late.
Of course you are. Well, in that case, you're a little bit after Karen. But when Karen walks in and sees you, Red, she says, "Well, it's nice to see that I have an employee now who likes to be on time."
I try. I sure try. I think I spent too much of last night reading the manual. I got through most of it, but yeah. I'm here, ready to work.
Well, you can never spend too much time reading the manual. It's a fount of information.
Yes, it was very enlightening.
It is, isn't it?
Yes.
And Karen pulls up a chair and sits down and waits for the rest of you to show up, including Poppy, the perennially late. And once you're all there, and she says, How did yesterday go? How was your first day, Red?"
Oh, it was great. We investigated the insurance claim and found out that he starts to slow down talking because he's trying to think if there's anything he should omit from how his first day went. Then he keeps going and says,
Shahana!
We found out that it was insurance fraud, and so we denied the claim, and
Really?
yeah.
We haven't had to deny a claim for fraud in... Well, I certainly can't remember ever denying a claim for fraud.
Yeah, the owner came clean about the claim, and apparently she was in on a scheme to collect insurance money, and something about being pressured to do the fraud. But then, it doesn't matter. We're just gonna obviously deny the claim.
Well, of course we will.
Are we there now, or are they talking early before?
No,
we
you're
get...
there now. Yes.
And we're there.
Okay, well then I guess there's no sense interrupting and mentioning not to tell Karen. We did think that it might be a good idea to continue investigating that particular situation, just so that if someone tries to do that again, we can recognize the signs and a little more easily, and so that we could see if there's been a pattern of it. We did find some interesting things, and I mentioned the previous pattern of fraud cases. What was it, 10 years ago?
3 years ago.
3 years ago.
It was more than 3 years. It was like 30 years
No, it was
ago.
right when it started.
Oh, I
Yeah,
can't.
we
I
were
thought you
both
said
Actually
3.
right. 30 is 10 times 3.
Oh.
It was like 3. It spanned from the 3rd to the 7th year of
Correct.
the company's
That's correct.
life. Okay. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but the company
Yeah,
was
3
founded
years
about
in,
40
that's
years
right.
ago, so it was
Yeah.
it was several decades ago.
And I'll whip out my notebook and show her the data that we did find. And it would be great if we also could be authorized to look at some of the previous files. I know it's not really a common practice to go looking into files that were closed before we were even employed here, but I think it might be a good idea to go into some of those histories and sort of learn more about this in case it's connected. Would that be acceptable?
Well, the record room is always open to you. I can't guarantee that those files will be in excellent condition. I mean, they are kind of old.
That's fair.
But you're always welcome to make requests.
And also, I'm the head of HR, so basically, yes, you can. That's fine.
Thank you, Miss Poppy.
Yes.
Karen just narrows her eyes at you, Poppy.
I can't wait till it's Karen's turn for evaluation.
It's that thing in like westerns when it goes like immediately just their eyes go. Ooh.
Yeah, she goes from being like this to being like. Can't see it with my glasses because glare.
It's high noon.
Oh God. So anyway, Karen pulls out
workplace politics.
Karen pulls out a stack of folders and says, "Well, you can definitely continue investigating that if you'd like, as long as you've submitted all your paperwork so we can close the claim. And don't forget you have a new case, so make sure that you deal with this. This needs to be a priority. Remember, we've got work to do." And she slides you each a folder that has your next case in it, which I will now send to you.
It's a Quinn Corona.
And she says, we're sending you today to go talk to Mr. Corona. Mr. Corona, his carriage suffered some extreme damage, and he claims that it was attacked by some kind of phantom carriage. I've never heard of anything like that, but, there are strange things in this world, so sending you all to take a look at the damages, try to assess what happened if you can, and hopefully we can resolve this favorably for all parties involved.
It looks like he's a bit of a grump, or is it just payment?
He takes a bit of a delicate hand.
As long as he continues to pay, we will continue to care about his claims.
He does pay, so
then we care about his
claims. For the time
claims.
being, we care about his claims until that situation changes.
Do we know how much a carriage costs? Like, how much his carriage will cost to replace?
Well, according to him, this carriage was insured for a fairly high amount because it is not a standard carriage. It's made apparently of specially grown wood. It's inlaid with gold and such things. I mean, I'm sure you'll see it when you get there, but this is
he the one I saw in Pimp My Carriage?
You may have, actually. I'm not sure, but it's the type of carriage you'd see on that, yeah.
That was amazing.
What's Pimp My Carriage?
Oh, it's a carriage show that you can go down to the racing fields and you can see them completely overhaul somebody's carriage and make it the most amazing carriage ever.
It's on the Carriage channel if you subscribe to Scryfinity.
But it's free if you just want to walk down there.
It's so dumb. I love this game.
Yeah, maybe after I read the manual, I can subscribe to one of those channels or services.
I take a note of that. I'm going to make a note.
It's also on Scryfy.
Red gets nervous when Poppy takes a note and is just like, wait, that was good. It's just confused, trying to figure out how it could be bad, but yeah. He always gets nervous when notes are being taken, especially about him.
He must hate the doctor.
Sorry, what was that, Poppy?
I said must hate the doctor. It was a dumb joke.
Ah, gotcha. Gotcha.
Sorry.
Yes, so Karen will give you this, and she says, is there anything else this morning, or are you good to go?
Do we have any, no, I already answered that. Never mind. I was gonna. Do we know any? I'll just ask. Do we know anyone who that works for the company or is contracted by the company to repair things like people? You could say restore them.
Well, we do have a puppy. I'm surprised you didn't say anything. We do have a trained therapist on staff in HR.
Okay.
But if you're not feeling well, I know that the Temple of Helm, where
we have trained therapists.
Do we still not have the employee cleric department?
No, we don't have an employee cleric department, but we do have one trained therapist. Now, she is rather overwhelmed, and getting an appointment with her can be quite difficult. But we do have one. It's a nice company perk.
Poppy raised her hand. She goes, I was never told we had a trained therapist.
Well, that's not my fault, is it? I'm not head of HR.
Shade.
You were my supervisor.
Right, I was your supervisor, and you never asked if we had a therapist.
Hey, Karen, when are your evaluations? I'm just curious. You remember? I don't have the notes with me.
Oh, I'm grandfathered in, dear. I have tenure.
I think since I'm the head of HR now, I'm going to be revisiting those rules, and we're going to see. I think everyone needs an evaluation.
Well, I suppose you can take that up with Mork. I mean, that is your prerogative.
So Red will, I think he wants to visit that therapist when he has a chance, try to get an appointment.
Okay. Karen can give you, the location of her office in the building.
Uh-huh.
But she says, you may want to go there now and sign up for an appointment, because she does tend to be a little overbooked. Right. So, she may have to try to squeeze you in somewhere.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's a great idea. Thank you so much, Karen.
Oh, you're welcome, dear. And she just sort of stares at you, Poppy.
I stare back at her. Well, everybody, let's roll out. And I ominously make a few notes, and I float backwards facing her out of the office. Just float backwards.
She just watches you go, gives you a little
on the way out, I just sort of turn over my shoulder and give her a little friendly wave, because that's Mildred.
She gives you much, her wave to Poppy is very bye-bye now, and but her wave to you, Mildred, is a little bit more oh bye, good luck.
Okay. Once we're out of the conference room, I'll stop and say, can I just go run to the therapist real quick and put in make an appointment?
Oh, of course. Let me go with you. I can bully her into giving you an appointment right now. It's fine.
Great. Thank you.
Let's go. I don't know where it is, so.
Yeah, I wrote it down here. So, where is it?
So it's up on the second floor. So the floor above you, and it's kind of tucked away. It's no wonder you never noticed it before, Poppy, because you've never really had a lot of cause to be on the second floor. And it's in a bit of a strange place, like a hallway that doesn't really seem to lead anywhere, and then terminates kind of awkwardly in a door. Mm-hmm. And there's a little plaque outside the door that says, I'm going to get her a name now.
I'm going to get her name now.
This is what real D&D is like.
What's her name?
I'm
Goblin the Goblin?
Yeah, Dr. Goblin McGoblin, MD. We will say her name is, oh, that's cute. Okay, her name is Dr. Care.
Doctor, that's... Well, I don't know what Red would think, but Jake, that would freak him out, and that'd be a no. But yeah, he'll gently knock on the door and listen.
You hear a come in.
I enter.
Inside, this room is actually a fairly small antechamber. And Dr. Care actually has her own secretary here.
Ooh.
It's not a very big room, but it's sort of like a doctor's waiting room, but like cramped. And there's a few very uncomfortable looking chairs set against the wall, and this like tiny little desk, and then there's a door behind the desk. And seated at the desk is why not? A small goblin who's... The desk is clearly a little bit too big for, but he's swinging his legs kind of happily on his chair. And he says, "How can I help you?"
Hi, I'm looking to make an appointment with Dr. Care. Hopefully get that appointment in because I've heard they're very busy.
Oh, yes, Dr. Care is very, very busy. Hang on, let me look at the book. And he gets this big book out and just throws it open and starts looking down at appointment times. And he says, looks like the earliest we can get you in is next week at 10 a.m.
Perfect. Is there any way you can let me know if anything opens up before then?
Sure. What's your name?
Red Fireson.
And you watch as the goblin gets out a quill, dips it in some ink, and writes Red Fireson, but horribly misspells it. Like, I truly don't know how it's possible to misspell a name as simple as that, but this goblin manages it.
The first name too?
Yep.
So no, it's REDFIRESIN.
You see him scratch out some of the letters and replace them. He mostly gets it right the second time.
Excellent. Yeah. So just send if something opens up, send a note to my. Do I have a cubicle yet?
You do have a cubicle.
You should, yeah.
Yeah. How do send it to my cubicle? Do cubicles? Never mind. I was about to ask if they have addresses here, but.
They do. Most cubicles actually do have numbers if you look at an office floor plan.
Okay, yeah. What's my office? What's my cubicle number?
Yes, your cubicle probably has a number like, we'll call it 162.
Okay, yeah, cubicle 162. Just please let me know, and thank you so much.
And he writes that down. He says, "I'll let you know if we have anything open up any sooner."
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Have a good day.
Thank you. You too. Poppy,
Remember,
are you
Dr.
there?
Care cares.
Excuse me, sir. Hi there.
Hi.
I am the head of HR, and I did not know this office existed. Could I please switch some stuff up so I can just get this gentleman in here right now in tip-top shape, because he is he is in his first week and he needs a little bit of help, and I would really appreciate if you would do this for me, the head of HR, the person who does kind of have hiring and firing power in this entire building.
He says, "Oh, I'd love to." But that's a question for Dr. Care.
Can I talk to Dr. Care, please?
Dr. Care's not in right now.
Where is Dr. Care?
I don't know. I'm not her boss. She's my boss. She doesn't have to tell me where she goes.
Does
She'll
she
be back
not
this
have office
afternoon.
hours?
What?
Does she not have office hours?
I mean, she comes into the office and he like pulls open the book again and he like starts flipping through the pages and he's like going down the line and he says her next appointment is in 1 hour.
Well, Red, you're going to have to wait for it for a little bit. Okay, let's go. Come on, roll out. Let's go.
Thank you.
Bye. I'll let you know if anything comes up sooner.
Sir, what's your name?
God damn it.
As I go, as I float out.
Let me get a name.
He says, my name is Iga.
Bye.
Goodbye.
I look at them and I go, I
Head of
really
HR.
have to check the employment rosters. This is ridiculous. I really should have known about this.
Well, in the meantime, there's places
I
that
would
you
die
can
for
get
this
therapy
goblin.
that aren't here.
What's that?
There are places that you can get therapy that aren't here.
Are they expensive?
It depends on the type of therapy, really. You can go to somebody who's a specialist in finding physiological answers to mental and emotional situations, or you can go to someone who's specializes in spiritual care, like I'm sure some of Scandalon's fellow worshippers of Helm. You can go and get other kinds of therapy.
What about like planar problems that just started happening yesterday?
That sounds
We
like
might have some clerics at the temple that could handle that, but something like that, you might need more of a specialist.
It does sound rather like a spiritual problem. Or possibly a wizard.
Yeah.
That's-
Sometimes wizards can help you with planar difficulties.
Maybe they could fix your blue.
I don't think that comes from a different plane. Anyway, I just bought new clothes for it. Don't you like them?
They do look very good on you. That color palette is very good.
Well, you should think so because you helped.
If I do say so myself.
All right, so are we heading off to check out this phantom carriage?
Yes. What's his name? Quinn Corona. Does that sound familiar?
Corona.
Oh, no.
I did.
I was thinking the same thing.
Do that.
Does that sound familiar?
Quinn Corona.
Oh no! I've made a horrible mistake.
Quinn.
I would just like for everybody to take hold of this moment in your minds and remember that the person playing the bard did not start this. DM, do we recognize the name from anywhere other than our files? Any of us? Because I feel like somebody who's willing to pimp out his carriage this much might be like rich and possibly famous.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say you do recognize this name.
He was on Pimp My Carriage.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was on Pimp My Carriage.
I knew it.
He's probably over there in the rich and famous file cabinet.
And he...
Yeah, do any of us have particular reason to recognize the name?
Not particular reason, but he is a very wealthy merchant. I would say, think of like... I don't want to... Maybe like a Jeff Bezos, almost. Very, very, very wealthy. A lot of money made in transportation and logistics and distribution of goods.
So just the worst.
Yeah, I mean, he's not the type of wealthy person that like you necessarily want to hang out with, but he's probably the type of wealthy person who you wish you had his money. And he's also the type of wealthy person where pretty much everyone in the city knows his name. So, obviously you would as well.
Okay.
Off to
Yeah.
Yes,
Off to visit
you
the
have
big
you have his address, so you can head on over. When you
let's do it.
get there, his house is gigantic. It takes up the better part of a city block on its own. Quite the property.
So he's got like a manor house, essentially.
Lots of stories. We have to walk back across the street to see the top one.
Yeah, it's very, very tall building. And he's got some guards outside the building, just like security guard types, basically. He doesn't have a livery because he's not a noble, so these are just like rent-a-cops, more or less. And beyond the wall, there's a low wall around the whole building, beyond which you can see what looks like a courtyard of some kind, maybe a garden. A little bit hard to see over the wall.
Especially for some of us. Do we need to go in through a gate before we can even ring a bell?
Yeah, there is a gate with, like the rent-a-cops. Sort of like if you think of like all the like Beverly Hills style houses that have the little like gate at the front where you have to hit the button and then announce your business. It's a bit like that, but with real people.
Okay. I pull out my employee ID and show it to the little scrying eye on the front and ring the bell.
And you hear, hello, what's your business?
Mildred Crabtree and Associates from Waterdavian Farm. We're here to speak about Mr. Corona's carriage.
There's a pause. And then you hear, all right, come in. When you enter the gate, head to the left. And the gate opens for you.
Woohoo. We go on inside and take a glance before heading to the left. Anything that was not immediately apparent from outside the gates?
I mean, you have a little bit of a better view of the grounds now that the gates open, so it is beautiful in here. He's got like nice topiaries and things like that are like sculpted and like really, really quite beautiful.
Wow.
The house itself is also gorgeous. All kinds of gilt and architectural flourishes and things like that. I mean, to the point where it is almost too much. It's a bit ostentatious, and it's massive. The entrance is a little bit farther away from the gate, and it's got one of those, like, how like fancy palaces and stuff, and even fancy houses really have that kind of roundabout that's like right in front of the house where like all the carriages can pull up.
The circular drive.
Yeah, exactly. It's got one of those. And off to the left, in the direction you were told to go to, is a carriage house of sorts. Or at least that's what it looks like it was. But it is damaged in the back. Like a portion of it has been caved in.
Mm-hmm. To the carriage house?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wait, no, I don't walk anymore. I just float.
I really want to examine that damage, but I feel like if there are rent-a-cuffs at the front, there's probably at least one with like a crossbow or something.
Well, you were told to go to the left.
Mm-hmm.
We were told, but we don't know if somebody works inside the carriage house.
Maybe that's where we're supposed to go.
Well, yeah. But we don't know if someone works in there that would shoot us for examining the place without permission. So, hello, the carriage house, Watertopian Farm.
So you like walking up toward the carriage house and then just shouting? You don't hear any response.
We're cool.
I can make us invisible.
Okay. You don't need to be invisible. This is just a routine run-of-the-mill
Okay.
visit, and I am scoring all of you on your performance. Remember that.
Is there any kind of door, not a big archway thing for like a carriage to go in and out, but just a door to go for people to go in and out?
There's a smaller door, and it is on the side of things that is still intact.
Okay. I go up to that and knock.
There's no response.
I test the knob to see if it's locked or not.
It is not locked.
The door's not locked.
In our glancing, could we have seen whether it was possible to enter by the damaged area, or would we have to go to the door?
You only sort of got a halfway glimpse at it. You could definitely go around and assess it to see if there's a way you could get in that way.
I think I will, because I'd rather enter without permission from something that's already open.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll explain myself and then go over and do that.
Yeah, you can go around to where the damage is.
Make a little sketch of that damage too, in case we also ensure that.
You can definitely get into the carriage house through this damaged section. It looks there's a substantial hole in the exterior wall that looks like something hit it from the outside and kind of just caved in a good chunk of it. Like several whole planks pretty much have fallen in.
Well, this is a wooden carriage house.
Yes.
Oh, I was thinking stone. That's different. Okay.
Does it look like any of the wood is burned at all, i.e. hit by a fireball, as opposed to like a giant rock or something?
That's a great question. No, you don't see any obvious scorch marks. It's splintered, primarily.
Can we determine the exact point of impact? Or is it just all in pieces?
Yeah, it's all in pieces now. You can go pick around in the debris if you'd like to do that.
I will, because I want to see if there's any paint chips or trace that doesn't match what should already be there.
Yeah, make an investigation check for me.
As she does that, I look inside the building to see if I can see like a big boulder or rock or something, i.e. can I see something physical that was thrown at it as opposed to some sort of blunt force damage from a magical source?
Yeah, you do not see anything like a rock or anything like that appears to have been the cause of the damage. The thing that you see immediately looking through this hole appears to be the back end of the actual carriage that got damaged. Because it too is largely caved in. Is that a 18?
I can't tell if that's a 6 or an 8.
18.
An 18.
It's an 8?
That looks like a 6.
I think it's a 6.
That's 16. Sorry, that's a 16.
Oh, you know what?
Oh,
now that I can
can't
find
see.
the 18, I think I had my finger over the 18. But yeah, that's a 16 plus 4.
16.
So 20.
So dirty 20. Let me finish telling Scandal on a few things, and then I will get to you. So you can see the carriage itself that got damaged. It too looks like it was hit from behind by something, but there's no indication of what that something is. You don't see any rocks or anything like that could have conceivably made the damage.
Okay.
From this end, you are looking at the back of the carriage, You can see pretty much into the carriage itself. There's some like panes of glass that are lying on the ground, broken. The wood of the back of the carriage has been damaged. There's a couple of planks hanging off of that as well.
Okay.
Mildred, you spent a little bit of time going through the rubble. You look at some of the boards that are on the ground here, and some of the cuts and the fractures and the breaks. And the more you look at it, the more you think that maybe this wasn't blunt force. It definitely looked that way from just looking at the hole in the wall. But as you look at the breakage and the debris, you think this may have actually been a little bit more targeted than that. And
like a saw or an axe?
Maybe an axe. Saw, probably not. It's not quite jagged enough for that. But definitely something a little... And there is still like some blunt force behind it. Some of the breaks are definitely like along the grain line and things like that. But do you think that some of this damage at least was caused by an implement that was at least somewhat sharp?
I'm going to pull out a sketchbook and sketch what I see. I don't know if I'm any good at that, but maybe it'll remind me later when I look at it.
Sure. You can do that. Absolutely. What about Poppy and Red?
I am making notes about them going to do this first instead of asking questions first. So I am making that note I'm just making humming noises on my clipboard, just going, and I erase something, I scribble something in, and I'm just watching them.
Can I look for someone else, possibly, who works here?
You can see that there are a few people moving around the grounds. Like, some of them look like gardeners, for instance, that are like tending to the trees and the topiaries and everything. You can see a few more rent-a-cops just kind of patrolling around the grounds in pairs.
I'll go to the closest grounds employee.
Sure. They've got like clippers and are trimming.
Excuse me. I'm with Waterdavian Farms. We're here to speak with a Quinn Corona who filed a claim with us. Do you know where I might find them or someone I can speak to about this?
Oh, Mr. Corona's probably in the house. If you stated your business at the gate, they'll probably have sent someone for him.
We did. We're just waiting. They told us to go left, and that was the only information we received.
You said you're here from Waterdavian Farm?
Yeah.
The insurance company?
Yeah.
Yeah, and they look over at the damaged carriage house, and they're like, well, that's probably what he wants you here to look at.
The carriage house?
Well, the carriage house and the carriage, yeah.
What happened?
I wasn't here. I've just heard this story kind of thrown around, but supposedly there was a ghost carriage that ripped through the gardens and into the back of the carriage house and collided with Mr. Corona's personal carriage, dealt a bunch of damage, and then vanished.
Do you know who was a witness to this, or if there was anyone?
Mr. Corona says he saw it, and I think one of the stable hands was here at the time as well.
So they might be in the carriage house, or
they are probably in the stables.
And where are they?
And they'll point off. It's not too far from the carriage house, but it's another small outbuilding that is very clearly a stable. It's kind of got like hay piled up on the outside of it, and
Okay. Well, I'll thank them and return to Poppy and tell her what I found out.
Okay.
Yes, Red.
Yeah, so I just spoke with a gardener, and they said that they didn't see it, but it's basically what the claimant was claiming, which is that a phantom carriage attacked Mr. Corona's carriage, and Mr. Corona allegedly saw it happen. And regarding where Mr. Corona is, someone, possibly them, will meet us, hopefully.
All right.
Is there anything else
All
I
right.
should be...
Well, why don't we head that way?
Okay.
Okay. I'm sorry. There's a bit of a weird.
Yeah,
delay
for sure.
here on my end, so I'm sorry.
So you're heading over to the stables or the carriage house?
I'm going wherever Poppy says we should go.
Do Scandalon and I hear of this? And
You probably hear Poppy and Red talking outside, yeah.
okay, but we don't hear the specifics, so we don't know they're leaving us.
Probably not.
Okay.
I mean, are you leaving? Because Red said he would go if Poppy thought that they should go.
Yeah, I'm gonna go towards people. So, although actually, you know what? Since I'm not actually, this is hard because I'm not technically a part of this team. I'm just an observer. You know what? I'm not.
Okay.
Foster.
I'm gonna just stay there, and I'm just gonna float and silently float gently over to Scandal, and I go. So what you find?
Appears to be some sort of damage. Some of it appears to be blunt force. However,
We just lost Poppy again.
Scandalon.
while
you
we're
might
waiting
wanna
for
put
her
your
to come
mouthpiece
back,
down near your mouth.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Your
You want to
mouthpiece.
put your mouthpiece down by your mouth.
I'm sorry. While we're waiting, I want to try to look to see if I can find any evidence of hoof prints coming towards this. I.e., is this really a ghost thing, or is it something made to look like a ghost that was more solid?
Yeah, you can look for some footprints. Give me an investigation check.
I'd like to assist because there will definitely be hoof prints here, but we need to be able to tell them apart from the hoof prints that belong here.
Right. Only an 8.
Okay. You find some hoof prints inside the carriage house, but you're not really able to tell whether these are related to the phantom carriage or if these are just like regular hoof prints that that have to do with the carriage being brought in and out of the carriage house.
Can I check the grounds outside? Can I check on the ground, like the grassy area, whatever it is, outside the building at that corner?
Sure. Give me another separate check for that.
This is not making sense.
Both of them are 3s.
Oh no!
This is not making sense.
You find some more footprints, some more hoof prints out front, like in the gravel, I guess, of the driveway, horseway.
Yeah, where I'd expect them.
Driveway.
But
Drive carriage.
again, not enough really to be sure that this is one thing or the other.
And probably nothing at the corner where the damage was done.
Not anything obvious, no.
Okay.
DM?
Yes.
It was probably already covered. So when you described the damage to the carriage, I was writing down something about the damage to the carriage house. Did you say that it looked like the carriage was plowed into from the back, like straight on or at an angle?
Straight on.
But how, though? Because horses would not make damage on the back of a carriage, and horses are what pull carriages.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay. That's part of the mystery and not just a modern thinking error. Okay. Good to know. I didn't want to chase more potatoes. Okay.
I appreciate it. I'm still traumatized about the potatoes. Yeah, no, this is intentional, very much.
Okay.
It is strange.
Okay.
Because you're correct. If the carriage that caused the damage was drawn by horses, it doesn't make any sense for it to have been a head-on thing.
Yeah.
But the damage does look like it was a direct hit from behind.
All right. Just because it's looking fishy, like the fire before was fishy, I want to cast Detect Good and Evil, see if I can detect anything, especially if maybe one of those symbols is hiding nearby.
Yes. So Detect Good and Evil. Remind me again.
Okay. Concentration up to 10 minutes. Range 30 feet.
Jog around.
If there's a place while I'm walking, I'll be walking around the entire carriage house. If a place or object within 30 feet of me has been magically consecrated or desecrated.
Gotcha. Okay.
Or if there's a celestial, elemental, fey, fiend, or undead within 30 feet as well.
Cool.
Or aberration.
Yes. So as you walk, yay, Poppy's back. As you walk around through the interior of the carriage, or of the carriage house, rather, not the carriage itself, you feel a faint, uncomfortable presence.
Uh-huh.
And
It's Shafafana.
Yeah.
it's Shavapana.
Just my luck.
And when you move toward it, it seems to be coming from somewhere on the carriage itself, or in the rubble of the carriage.
Okay. I try to keep going closer to where I'm detecting that presence, see if I can see the source, i.e., is there another symbol there,
Yeah.
or is there something, or can I see anything other than just feeling that the
Make an
presence is
investigation
there?
check, but with advantage, because you are you've got your spell up. Oh my goodness, we are having a raid. Hello, raiders.
All right. Hey, Scraticus. Cool.
Raiders.
Hello.
Oh, hi.
Friends.
Hey, all the Academy people.
Scrat cats.
I am
18.
not sure I want to know what the story behind your raid cry is.
What is the raid cry? I can't see
It's
it.
Hotfoot, Barefoot,
Hotfoot,
Bigfoot
barefoot,
Hunt,
Bigfoot hunt.
which is a mouthful.
I call Hotfoot.
Okay.
I guess I'm Bigfoot.
Oh God.
8. I rolled an 18.
18. Okay. So yeah, you get a little bit closer and kind of using your spell to guide your approach and where you're looking. So as I said, part of the back of the carriage is heavily damaged, right? You know, like the wheels are broken and it's sitting down. So this actually takes a little bit of work for you to kind of weasel your way into the wreckage a little bit.
Tease my way through it all.
Yeah, and you kind of, you know, turning things over gently, looking through, and you flip over what you think was once part of the floor of the carriage. And on the other side of it is another one of those symbols.
I immediately hold it up and show it to Mildred.
One of those symbols is
I point my finger towards the last place that I heard Poppy's voice, and I send a message. Hey, we found one of those infernal symbols. Come on back to the carriage house. You can find this message. And we lost her.
Uh-oh.
I will float over. I will float back over
towards Red Firestone.
I'm Hello?
Hello? Yeah,
Yeah,
we're having some
we can hear
technical
you.
difficulties. We can hear you.
I can hear you a little bit.
Am I not moving?
You're moving.
Yeah,
a
you're
little.
moving.
You're a little
I
jerky.
will float back over and go, yes, I'm sorry, yes, ma'am, yes.
Yeah, I found another one of those infernal symbols. We thought you'd appreciate knowing.
Ooh, what's to this time?
I slowly pull the board out, trying to keep my hands far away from the actual symbol itself, and pull it out to set it on the ground so we can get a better look at it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is it just like the one I took a sketch of?
It is pretty damn close. Yeah, I mean, if there's a difference, it's not a noticeable one.
Okay.
Re-sketch that just in case.
I'm gonna try. I'm gonna just sketch it again as best as I can tell, and I'm gonna start just put it next to the one in my notebook, the one that I saw, and label it number 2.
Did can Scandalon or can any of us tell whether that was on the floorboard inside the carriage or underneath?
It looks like it was from what you're saying. Sounds like it was underneath. It wasn't on the floor where they would be walking or stepping on. It would be at part of the undercarriage.
Yeah, it's not too difficult to tell that it would have actually been underneath a part of the carriage where it would not have really readily been visible. And because there's a noticeable difference in the material, and like the interior of the carriage was like carpeted and nice.
Yeah.
And the
Probably
exterior,
carpeted and stained and all that, where the other underside's going to have the weathering and aging on it.
correct. So yeah, it's not difficult to tell.
Can I begin ritually casting Contact Other Plane?
He's gonna have a whole army of these sons of.
No, hold on. So the logic here for Red is that he's mad at Shafafana and thought he could sleep Shafafana off. And secondarily, he can ask the questions about the investigation, but primarily, he's thinking like maybe it will suck Shafafana back to wherever he'll just hear a sucking vacuum sound or something.
Just like a
Yeah.
That giant sucking sound.
Yeah. And so it takes 11 minutes to cast.
Yep.
We'll just sit here and watch him, and I'll just float here judgingly the entire time.
Judging.
Go ahead and make your intelligence saving throw.
Let's go.
We don't need 2 Shafafanas.
Saving
Or
throw.
do we?
We'll get the twin brother Menomina.
16.
Oh,
Yeah.
squeaking by there.
Okay.
Okay, so for those of you watching along at home, contact other plane means he contacts a demigod, a spirit of a long dead sage, or some other mysterious entity. Because he passed, he does not suffer the deleterious mental effects, but he can now ask the entity up to 5 questions. And I get to answer with a one-word answer.
Can a greater restoration spell get rid of Shafafana?
Yes.
You asking these things out loud so we
But
can
do
hear them?
we want?
I don't know.
to do it?
Is it like an internal conversation
I feel
he's
like
having?
it's an internal conversation because this is very much
Alright.
like a mental.
He's going on
Sure.
a face journey.
So Red is just probably sitting there
Yeah.
with like kind of a faraway look in his eyes.
How do I get... No. How can I... It has to be yes, no, or...
One-word answer.
One word
right.
answer.
Is this another fraudulent claim we're investigating now?
Yes.
Did Mr. Corona... Is he being manipulated to make the claim, or is he... I guess that would be the third. Just, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Help me out. What do you got?
By whom?
What?
By whom?
By
Manipulated
whom?
But
by
that-
whom?
But that's not a yes or no, or
The
Doesn't
DM
have to be
said
yes or
one
no.
word.
It's just one-word answers.
Just
You can ask
one
the
word.
question.
by who is he being manipulated? By whom? Who?
The voice in your head
Oh no.
says Watcher.
Giles?
Do I have one more question?
I think you have, one more question because you've asked 3 about the case and 1 about Shpapana, so you have one more question.
Who is Shafafana?
Oh God, I could give so many answers to that question. Who
Denafana just is.
Just don't say Io or something.
You.
Who is Shpapana?
42.
42. Appreciate it. Good. It's good. Who is Shafafana? Passenger.
Okay.
Oh, yeah,
I
what
imagine
else do you do?
Shafafana is like right next to me while Poppy is close by making notes on people. Shafafana is just making notes, mimicking notes about me right now.
Shafafana is pretending to take notes and like listening as you get responses.
Okay. All right.
And after you
from
get
you
that
to join us.
passenger answer, you feel the connection between you and whatever you were talking to sever.
Do I think it was like... Do I get a sense of whether it was a good or bad or neutral entity?
Why not?
That I was talking to, not Shafafana?
Yeah. you got a distinct sense of not hostility, but
Annoyed?
no, not even annoyance. Almost like gleeful malevolence. Like
no.
the entity that you contacted was taking a lot of pleasure out of providing you answers that were cryptic and that could potentially cause problems for you.
Do they have to be true? Or
they do have to be true, I believe. Yeah, I think it has to be true. It doesn't specify, but it does say like if a one-word answer would be misleading, the GM might instead offer a short phrase. So I do think they're intended to be true answers.
Okay. All right. Cool. And I come out of the ritual trance, and you see Red go. His beard is kind of smoldering, like Scandalon saw earlier, and he goes, I knew it. I knew it. So Scandalon, I can get rid of Shafafana with a greater restoration spell. Do you know anyone who can cast that?
I am sure there are many at the Temple of Helm that are able to do such a thing.
Excellent. Excellent. Second thing, I asked about the case, and I asked, is this another false claim? And I was told yes, and I was told that Mr. Corona is being manipulated in a similar fashion to the previous case, and that person doing or thing, entity doing the manipulating is called Watcher.
Watcher.
Does that mean anything to me?
It does not.
That's what I got.
And I'm fine with that. Well, if this is a fraud, then we just go find our client and tell him that we know it's a fraud. So he should just cough up the truth, and then we can get on our way. Easy peasy.
You know what? Wealthy people don't. I'm gonna gainsay that, Miss Poppy, and I'm so sorry. But wealthy people don't stay wealthy by just telling the truth all the time about where they've gotten their money.
Well, he's not getting his 500 gold anyways. So we might as well just tell him, we know it's a fraud, so, if you can tell us if you want, but we do have magical proof that it is a fraud. So we can inform him of it.
Red kind of meekly says, was it 500 only, or was that
That's the deductible.
That's the deductible.
Good job, Red. You passed the pop quiz.
Ooh. Feeling good.
Tap him on the arm and beckon him to come down and whisper, it's not a test. They're just messing with you. You're okay.
Wait, so is this a test?
No.
Yes, it is. It's all a test. Assume always test.
Okay.
I tried.
Thank you.
At this point, you hear the sound of footsteps coming up to the carriage.
It's your Papana.
And you hear, it's your Papana, surprise! No, you hear these footsteps coming up. And then you hear kind of a snotty, arrogant voice talking to you from where the hole in the carriage house is. And he says, good God, it took them long enough to send someone, didn't it?
Hello, sir. We're from Waterdavian Farms. These are your team. Yes, well, these are your team. I am here as the head of HR today from Waterdavian Farms. I'm just doing a little observation, so don't mind me. I'll
come out and sort of dust my hands and on my trouser legs and come on out and say, Mr. Corona, I take it?
Correct.
Hi, I'm Mildred Crabtree, flash my ID, Waterdalpian Farm Representative. This is our team.
I wish I could say it was a pleasure, but it's not.
Oh, no, I'm certain it's not. And we are sorry about that. We know that we see people on some of the worst days of their lives, and we wish that it could be under better circumstances. Do you mind if we ask you some questions about the incident?
I don't suppose I have much choice, but I guess make it quick.
Thank you very much. The phantom carriage that you saw, what was powering it? Was it driven by horses?
No, it rolled in over the wall and across my grounds and directly into the carriage house.
My goodness.
I didn't see any horses.
And then from there directly into the back of your carriage?
Yes.
Did it happen to have a metal grill on the front?
I wasn't close enough to see that.
Because if you look right here, you'll see that this doesn't really look like blunt force damage, which is what I would have assumed, since that's what happened to the carriage. But what happened to the carriage house actually looks like someone came after it with an axe. And I'd like to see if I can tell if that made any impact on him whatsoever.
He says, well, I'm sure I would have seen someone with an axe running around.
Can I tell if he's putting on a good front or if he's...
You can make an insight check, yeah.
I will assist.
Oh, no matter what I add to a 4, that's probably not going to do it.
I'm aiding you, so you can have advantage.
Oh, yes. I need that.
Does he have an ascot?
12. Total 12.
You find him very hard to read. Much in the style of many businessmen. He's got a great poker face. And he just seems really disdainful of this whole endeavor.
I just want to clarify one more time. I don't recognize him from my family business at all. Okay. That's a shame. Okay. About what time of day was it, sir, when this happened?
It was evening. I was having the carriage, having the horses attached to the carriage so I could take it out for a business dinner. And I was leaving the house to come over to the carriage, and that's when I saw the ghost.
Do I think he thinks he's telling the truth? I know that's confusing. Do you know what I mean? Do I think that he is in on the fraud, or if he has been frauded in this situation?
Yeah, so basically, has he been duped, or is he actively deceiving you? You can make an insight check, too.
Woo! That is a big 2!
A 2? Yeah, you're sort of in the same situation as Mildred. He's real hard to read. And
Scandalon,
Yes,
could you bring over that board that you found?
certainly. And I carefully pick it up, hands as far on either side as possible to keep my hands away from the symbol, and I carry it out.
okay.
I'm gonna turn, like, as I'm talking into the carriage house, sort of turn my hand, hopefully indicating to him that I want him to not show the symbol right away.
Yeah, I've got instead of the board, the flat side of the board that does not have the symbol is towards you.
What's this?
I'm gonna hold out my notebook where I've sketched that symbol. Does this look familiar to you at all?
Is it supposed to? No.
Because,
I flip the board over.
because it's on your carriage, and I thought if someone had put that on there without your knowledge, then that would certainly go a long way towards exonerating you of insurance fraud.
I mean, wait. You think this is a fraud?
Well, we know it's a fraud.
Oh, we know it's a fraud.
We just want to know if someone is pulling insurance fraud on you or if you're involved in it. we're really hoping that it's someone else.
I would never stoop to such a thing. And he looks over at the symbol and says, I've never seen that before in my life, and I have no idea what it's doing on my carriage.
Insight
Do we
check.
believe him collectively?
You may roll an insight check, yes.
All of us?
We all do that. Or
Anyone
just
who
get
wants to can roll it, yes. You're all listening, so.
Ooh, it's not bad this
Better.
time.
19?
19, okay.
12.
15.
8.
Okay. Poppy and Mildred. He seems to be telling the truth, at least as far as not knowing what this symbol is. As far as you can glean. He does look... You catch a faint glimmer of surprise in his face. It's like barely there, but you just see his eyes widen just a smidge.
Well, I must say, sir, that makes me feel much, much better. Thank you so much.
Who's a watcher?
Watcher? What are you talking about? Watcher of what?
Pat him on the elbow.
Is your coworker okay? Like this is ridiculous.
We seem to be discovering a pattern of fraudulent insurance claims being spurned here within Waterdeep, and one of the things they have in common is the symbol that was on the floorboard of your carriage is the common denominator.
That's really not my problem, is it? That's your problem.
It kind of is, actually. And the thing is that we don't think that you want to defraud us. But we're wondering if maybe you were forced to do so, coerced in some way. And we don't place any blame on that.
I don't know what you're talking about, and I have never seen this symbol before.
Red is just
Do it, Scandalon.
just looking at him and doing crazy, like trying to see into his soul type of weird eyes.
He's like talking to Mildred, and then he looks over at you and does.
All right.
I love this.
DM, it's time for the insurance adjuster's best friend. I'm casting Zone of Truth.
Very nice. Wisdom saving throw?
We got a racket now.
Charisma.
We got this
Charisma.
Charisma.
Charisma saving throw.
Scary. We're using cheat codes now.
All right, don't fail me now, new dice.
Hail her now, new dice.
Hail her!
There are 4 of us, new dice.
We cast Wheaton upon your dice.
Oh, 26.
Mother
Ugh.
of pearl.
Just beats my DC by that much.
And he looks at you.
That was a
Scandalon.
drag queen 26.
He looks at you, Scandalon, and he goes, "And is it common policy to cast spells on your clients?"
Yes,
When the
actually, it is in our company policy.
I find it very
Chap-
rude,
chap-
and I will be sure to speak to your manager about it.
It's in. It is in our employee handbook. Chapter 18, Section 4, Paragraph 2, Subsection 3.5, dealing with possible fraudulent claims against the company. It is policy, sir.
Well,
I would not do it if it was not.
You can't go any higher than me. I'm sorry.
oh, I beg to differ. I could go straight to your CEO.
Would you like to?
Would you like to? I'm sure Mork would love to hear your complaint.
I might.
Do you know Mork? CEO
Good
of
idea.
Waterdeep
Oh,
Farms?
I don't know him personally, but I'm sure I could get an invitation to talk to him.
Sure.
I'm just imagining Mork just like hunkered behind his desk, canceling all calls.
We just cut to the shot of Bork hiding.
Under the desk.
Just talking to a goldfish.
I miss him so
I hope
much, you
Mork's
guys.
okay.
I miss him so much.
This is the least concerning, I want to speak to your manager I've ever been faced with.
I feel like he needs a different haircut, this guy. Well, sir, if you will notice, your premiums are kept low because we catch fraud.
Yes.
And so if you're not the one who did it, then we need to find the employee or family member of yours who did.
I still don't understand how you even know this is fraud.
I talk to
We have inside information.
That is why we come to investigate, so we can find out such things.
You talk to what exactly? He says, looking at you, Red.
Wouldn't you like to know?
Expect me to believe the words of this man.
Wouldn't you like to know?
This man is a highly valued member of our claims adjustment team, sir.
We would not have
Really?
hired him if he was a fraudster, of course. I did the background checks myself. And I lean over to him to go, how many murders have you committed?
To me?
Yeah. Like,
I'll tell you later. I'll tell you later.
okay. He is just 100% above the board. We have an ultimate faith in him, and I say that as the head of HR.
Not all the money in the world could make me tell you who I talk to.
Well, then
Well,
I
we
don't
do
see
know
how this is
what's
going to
the-
stand up in a court.
Magical evidence?
All we have is his word
Okay.
for it.
As per company policy, what do I know about what the legal implications of the situation are?
The legal implications of the situation, I mean, if you could prove that beyond a shadow of a doubt, because we're innocent until proven guilty, if you could prove that this guy's involved in some fashion, you could potentially have Waterdavian Farm bring a lawsuit against him, a civil suit against him personally, to try to recover lost time essentially for y'all, and potentially other damages as well.
The thing is, I don't think that we're looking to bring suit against him right now. Right now, we're looking to find who kind of
Fires.
we're trying to find who's doing it.
Yeah,
But I think
now that's different,
goal-
because if you could find, because these symbols have something to do with draining the life, quote unquote, out of a company. If you could find, this is definitely some kind of like corporate malfeasance, bad business practices on steroids, right? If you could figure out who was doing that, you'd have grounds easily to either bring a lawsuit, or you could wild west your way into taking some less above the law vengeance.
Well, more I meant like what the company policy is in a situation like this where we have the answer via magical means. Like, can they bring like a civil suit against us for like a civil suit against us for like smearing his name, even though we're not bringing suit to him?
It would depend on what you tried to do. It's worth noting too. I compared this guy to Jeff Bezos earlier. He's going to be able to hire the best of the best. So taking him to court.
But we can prove because we used magical means.
You did.
Correct?
You did use magical means. You did use contact other plane. But the unfortunate thing about contact other plane is you only have one witness. So
But he can voluntarily submit to a zone of truth.
He could voluntarily submit to zone of truth.
So we do have proof.
The defense you'd probably face there from the other side is, well, he may believe it's true.
Sure.
But
D&D legal jargon.
woo! He may
here's the
believe
thing.
it's true, but he's also hallucinating Shafafana, so...
I was about to say that. Like, we better get his...
But we don't know that. None of us know that.
Wait a minute. I've talked about
Yeah,
Shafafana.
he's talked about Shafafana.
Don't know it's a hallucination. He says his friend is invisible. We live in a fantasy world where that can totally happen. We don't
That's
know
true.
he's not real. We have
That's
no idea
true.
he's not real. So that's
true.
the thing.
And actually, on that lovely legal fantasy note, we are a little bit late for our break tonight. So I'm gonna go ahead and take us to break while we consider our legal options.
We're going to go consult with our lawyers.
Yeah, we're gonna consult with our fantasy legal counsel, and we will return to you in approximately 10 minutes.
One tired elf.
Yeah. Fortunately, we employ the law firm of Mean, Nasty, Cruel, Brutish, and Short.
So we will be back in 10. Rejoin us then while these four try to figure out what the heck they're going to do with the information that they have. Find out in 10 minutes. See you then. have you been thinking about the legal implications of this fraud case? Because we haven't.
No.
Nah. Oh, also, I see I have got some folks switched around, so let me make those adjustments very quickly. Oh, no.
Also, you like my bird? It's a Halloween decoration, but I keep it up all year round.
Is it a crow?
Very nice.
A raven. She will take it down nevermore.
Yeah.
Goth wrap all year. Yes, I am live in a pastel room. It doesn't matter. Goth wrap all year.
Okay. I think we're good now. Everything is back where it should be. Cool. So, we were discussing the legal ramifications of this fraud case and what actions can and cannot be taken here. So you've definitely established that there's another one of these creepy symbols, and according to whatever eldritch entity Red contacted, there is some form of fraud going on here.
Question, DM.
Yes.
In our investigations, did we already come up with an assessment of how much the damage would pay out if this was a legit claim?
You've not done that yet, no. If you would like to try to make an on-the-fly estimate, you can go ahead and roll me an investigation check.
Yes, please.
While she does that, I ask Mr. Corona, so, sir, who are the other witnesses of this event? Since you were obviously preparing to go out on your carriage, I presume you were not doing all the preparations yourself.
Of course not. I would never prepare my own carriage.
That is what I presumed. So, who else was in here that saw this incident when it occurred?
My stable hand, Percy, was affixing the horses to the carriage when this all went down.
Was he the only one besides yourself?
Well, he was the only one in the carriage house.
Okay.
I don't recall if there was anyone else on the green that night, but it's possible. I have a fairly large household staff.
Yeah. Understood. So where would this Percy be at the moment?
Well, he's my stable hand. He would be in the stable.
Okay. I didn't know if maybe he was off for the day or if he was doing other activities or not. I wanted to make sure first.
He was unharmed, so.
And sir, is he in on the fraud?
I'm sorry, what?
And I put a hand up. I put the hand up towards Poppy as she's talking.
That's not going to look good on your evaluation.
No, I think a X mark on his form. I look at him and I go,
Ooh.
Fair. We don't know that Mr. Corona is the one who is trying to defraud us. It may be one of his employees, disgruntled in some way. Do you have, sir?
Or it may be a third party.
Do you have anyone who might want to make you look bad this way?
I'm a very wealthy businessman. Of course I do. Probably half the city of Waterdeep would like to make me look bad.
I do not reply directly to this, but I do let it lay there for like 2 seconds. Can you think of anyone in particular who would make you want to look like a dishonest person?
I have some business rivals, other companies. I mean, potentially, I guess it could be one of them, but...
We would appreciate knowing those names. Again, sir, we believe in the benefit of the doubt at Waterdavian Farm. We know that the claim is fraudulent, but we don't know that you're at fault. So we would like to make sure that we can find who is.
I can have my secretary...
To be clear, you will not be getting the money. However, we would like to figure out who did.
Excuse me, I will be getting the money. If there was fraud here and I was not involved, I will be getting the money.
Well, you would be having to bring suit against that individual who did that rather than this, since this is technically, according to our terms, a fraudulent claim.
Well, that's fine. I have no problem suing who I need to sue. Point me in the right direction.
Well, that's what we're hoping you can do. Can you give
I
us
hate this guy.
your top 5 or 6
I know,
names?
right? He's the fucking worst.
I'm glad I've done my job well.
I'm just sitting here like, ugh.
Could you give us your top 5 or 6 names of people? Because, sir, it may look like a business matter, and it is for us, but for someone to do this and to make you suffer for it, that seems like it's very personal. If it wasn't you, it has to almost be personal. So can you think of 5 or 6 people that might want to harm you personally?
As I said, I can think of dozens.
I'll
have my secretary draw up a list and send it to you.
Does your secretary know all of your personal problems?
Yes, she's my secretary. I rely on her for many things.
We'd like to speak with her then. Thank you.
What kind of things? The way you said that was weird. Not suspicious, just weird.
Things like...
Sir, married? I suddenly have some questions.
Did you ask if he's married? He says, no, I'm not married. Why would I do that to myself?
All right, so there's no disgruntled wife mad that you're sleeping with your secretary. We can cross that off the list.
Of course
Poppy,
not.
we don't.
I'm
we don't-
Waterdeep's most eligible bachelor.
Poppy,
What
we
is
don't
he-
know that and we don't care.
Well,
What's he dressed like?
I roll my eyes as she said that. As Poppy
Dressed
said
like
that.
What is he
Benedict.
dressed like?
I can
Yeah.
already tell. Let me guess. Can I guess? And
You
tell
may
me
guess.
right?
Yes, go for it.
He's dressed like Terry Benedict.
I don't know who that is.
Ocean's 8. 9.
Been a long time since I've watched the Ocean's movies.
No, Ocean's 9, 10, 11, 13. I don't know.
Describe
A
it
bunch
for
of
those of us who can't place it.
Like someone else picks out exactly what would be 2 steps above what anybody around him will be wearing to any particular setting.
Yeah, that's probably a fair description. So he's not
Right
wearing
there,
anything
shoes.
that's like overly ostentatious, really. He's got like a nice watch on. You can see a couple rings on his fingers, like the big chunky kind. But like his actual clothes are not, at first glance, all that ostentatious. Like he's just kind of wearing like what looks like a plain black shirt and slacks.
Yeah, but it's freaking Armani.
Yeah, but then you get a little bit closer and you realize, yeah, it's the Waterdavian equivalent of Armani, right? Like the material quality of his clothing is like 10 steps above average, and he makes it look kind of effortless, like, oh, I just like rolled out of bed like this, but really he's like incredibly put together, and like his hair is like perfectly styled. Somebody probably did that for him.
How old?
He's human, and he's in probably his late 30s, maybe early 40s. You can see like the beginning of patches of gray coming in. Just enough to make him look cultured, right? Like not enough to be. Do you hate him more now?
I just hate that that's his motivation for the gray. It is just to make him look a little more. Ugh.
I want this man to burn.
I want to help burn him.
The rich.
I've got negative energy flood ready to go.
Bobby, what did you say?
I said, so you know how they say eat the rich?
I mean, you could try to eat him. It may not go well.
So have you heard about the French Revolution? I'm proposing something.
Yeah, and he's standing there, just looking very like his body language is extremely disdainful. Like he keeps checking his watch. Like, God, I've been here for so long. And
Can I cast Detect Magic at will using Eyes of the
yeah.
Rune? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Anything popping off?
Yeah. You can see a little bit of abjuration magic flickering around him.
Mm-hmm.
Hard to tell exactly what it's from. It does seem a little bit heavier on his watch.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that's the source. But he's definitely got some kind of arcane protection on himself.
Anything else in the room?
Well, the symbol from the floor is
Yeah.
like radiating necromancy, and I think it was enchantment was the other one that I said from last time. So the same things as before.
Yeah, necromancy and enchanting, yes.
Yeah, and but
What if he
otherwise-
just? What if he just accidentally fell on the symbol?
Maybe don't.
Maybe no.
That's y'all's prerogative.
Hang on. Do I have?
Because don't forget, I'm the one holding it right now.
Oh God, Scandalon would be so upset.
Sir, would you mind?
Oh God, what have I done?
Would you mind if we took this piece with us? That's Scandalon's holding. I just read it.
I mean, the carriage is no use to me in pieces, so by all means, take it.
I hold open my bag of holdings to Scandalon.
Let's see. Before I put it in, I reach for like a rag or towel type of cloth thing and carefully wrap that around the symbol so none of us touches it.
Sure.
And then I carefully put it in the bag of holding.
Okay.
I don't want to take the risk of us reaching in to grab it out and accidentally grabbing and
That's smart.
making contact with it.
And Quinn Corona looks at his watch again and he says, "Are we done here?"
For now.
If you
We
could
may
just point
need
us
to
towards
talk
your
with you later.
secretary.
Great. Talk to my secretary. She can reach me. And he walks off back toward the house.
After he's left, I turn to the others. What part of point us toward the secretary was completely... Never mind. We're going to have to go back
I'm
up to
just
the house,
saying,
aren't we?
you know, they do say eat the rich all the time. I mean, we could just try.
At what point could we claim self-defense from his?
Not now.
Not at the moment, please.
Okay.
Do you really want to mess with his hired security?
However, and I'll go back and look at the damage to the wall and the damage to the carriage and look up close at it and make sure I've got it clearly in my mind and sprout forth a few minor illusions to make sure I can make things that look just like it so that I can show it to people who can draw.
Sure.
Now, on the carriage, we saw blunt damage only. We didn't see the axe-like marks. Is that correct?
Mildred only looked at the debris from
All
the
right. Since Mildred told me about that, I want to take a closer look to see if I can see anything like that as well.
Sure.
Yeah, you were looking at the carriage and I was looking at the carriage house.
Yeah.
At some point, we probably ought to switch and we ought to get them in on it too.
Yeah, you can roll me an investigation check to examine the carriage debris.
Yeah. Since I know that's she found that there, I want to see if it's there as well. Oh, 3 seems to be my favorite number tonight.
God, I feel so bad for you, Robert. You always end up getting such low rolls whenever you're rolling
Hey,
checks
like
this.
I said in college before Will Wheaton was, I am.
Speaking of low rolls, my investigation roll to determine the dollar amount of damage we're looking at was 9.
Wow. Okay.
No idea.
Can I investigate the?
Can I investigate?
God, please.
Okay.
Alrighty.
Okay. So tell me what.
Hang on.
Hang
I
on.
want to inspire Poppy.
Okay.
I would like to do the monetary.
Okay. You want to do the monetary roll? Okay. Go ahead and roll me that. And Red, are you doing the monetary assessment, or are you with Scandalon looking at the carriage?
Monetary.
Okay.
Okay,
Investigation
if he's
rolls.
doing monetary, then I will do carriage assessment.
All right. My plastic dice have been fired for the night. I'm switching to the metal.
Okay.
I'm going to turn to Poppy and say, listen, and I'll use this as inspiration. Listen, I really would value your expertise because you've been at this so much longer than any of us have, like, put together. So just, I just think that your expert eye would be the right thing for this. But the figure I got, and it just doesn't seem right somehow.
Okay. Is that an inspiration? Do I have one? What is the die?
It's D6.
So what am I doing? Am I doing monetary or am I checking the carriage debris?
Monetary.
Monetary. Okay. 1d6.
Mm-hmm.
That is a 12, my dude.
Well,
Sixes.
fortunately for you, the DC of this check is sliding based on the amount of experience you have. So as the most experienced member of the party, your DC was the lowest. Therefore, Bobby, looking around at the damage that has occurred here, between the carriage house and then also the carriage itself, you know, if this was just your average run-of-the-mill carriage and carriage house, 500 gold, it probably wouldn't be a big deal, right? But because this carriage is, like, it's got, like, gems inlaid into the wood, like, it's really over the top. Yeah, exactly. The face that you're making right now. You would guess that the carriage value alone is probably somewhere in the neighborhood of 5,000 gold. And then you're probably looking at an additional 3,000 to 4,000 to fix the hole in the wall. So 9 to 10
like
total.
I think Red would want to compare his assessment.
Estimate?
And also Jake's curious what his DC would be since Red is so
Go for
new. Hey-oo. 19 plus 8, 27.
Whoa.
wow.
Bringing him with us always.
Yeah, you're going to come up with a similar number.
We got
So-
a ringer here.
So Poppy, just let's compare notes here. I came up with says exactly what you came up with regarding monetary.
I look at my thing, and I look at him, and I go,
I thought you were gonna make like a power move and be like, it's a little off, but it's okay. You're new.
"No, I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud first." Very good.
Okay, good. Thank you.
All right.
Whoops.
We need to talk to a stable hand.
I spoke to a gardener.
Did they see anything?
When was that? Today? Just at one point.
Oh, I wasn't asking about the case. I was just asking how he was doing. No, I'm just kidding.
Hey, man. It's cool. Yeah, I know. It's working hard or hardly working.
Just the most inane conversation. Yeah, he said he didn't see anything. Mr. Coronis saw something and maybe another person, but didn't say who. If I remember correctly, if Jake remembers correctly, one of the stable hands probably saw.
Yeah, that concurs with what Mr. Corona said.
Mm-hmm. To the stables.
Yes, let's go talk to the stable hand.
So you guys all head over to the stables. Also, as a side note, I've decided that this man also has his own line of beers.
And
Why?
they're a little skunky, aren't they?
Why though?
Because of his name.
Oh, okay.
Of Corona fame.
Trash,
Yeah.
you utter trash.
Sorry, not sorry. Yes, you guys can go over to the stable. The stable is it's not huge, but it's big enough to house like a good half dozen or more, maybe a few more horses at least. And you can see that the horses that are in here are just prime specimens.
Really good horse flesh,
Yes,
as one person who's super into horses might say.
Yes. I mean, these are very, very, very beautiful horses. They all seem to be very well trained as well. They're you can see that there are a couple of stable hands in here that are doing various chores. You know, some of them are rubbing the horses down. Some of them are shoveling hay. You can see, you know, some of them are mucking out the stalls. And there are 5 horses in here at this time, of assorted colors. There's a few that are larger ones, and then a few that are smaller, probably faster.
Belgians, Clydesdales, Percherons, the whole.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're not gonna have one of every kind, but I would say probably if you really want a mental image, I would say Lipizzaner.
Okay, that's what I was thinking.
Oh, those are pretty, pretty, pretty ones.
Yeah.
How do I, in real life, roll an intelligence check to see if I... Oh, I don't. I don't know what that means.
That would be Google.
Yeah.
30 is what you need to know, and that is...
I can send you some pictures of what Lipizzaners look
I can look it up.
for reference.
Yeah.
But yeah, so, and then there's, like I said, there's a couple of stable hands just sort of wandering around doing assorted chores.
I walk up to the nearest one and ask them, which one of you fine gentlemen is Percy?
You do that, and one of the ones who was brushing out one of the horses raises a hand and he says, "That be me, sir."
May I have a few valuable moments of your time? And I hold up my ID card showing that I'm from Waterdavian Farm.
He says, "Oh, are you here about the stable?"
Yes, we are.
Oh, right. Yes, of course. What do you want to know?
We just want to get your version, your eyewitness account of everything that happened.
Well, you know, I didn't see much.
Paying strong attention to this fellow.
I was harnessing the horses. Mr. Corona was going to go out for the night, and he wanted 2 of the nicest horses, the twins, and he points at 2 horses that are probably not twins, but they look very similar. And because he wanted to make a good impression, so I had taken them over to the carriage house, and I was, you know, harnessing them, and then there was this crashing sound, and I looked up, and there was all of this green spectral light, and the carriage was broken.
Did you see anything actually come through the wall or collide into the carriage?
I saw something hit the carriage. I didn't really see it come through the wall. That because I was sort of involved in my task, getting, you know, harnessing the horses to the carriage kind of requires most of your attention. But I heard something hit. That was when I looked up.
How badly were the horses injured?
Well, the horses were fine. I hadn't finished. I had only started harnessing the one in. The other one was not even attached to the carriage. This one over here, she has a few bruises, but she's fine.
I'm gonna go up to the horse and just greet her, him, them.
Her.
Okay. And speak with animals. Cast speak with animals.
Ooh, sneaky. Sure.
Since I can always speak with animals, do I just understand what's going on?
Is that one of your warlock invocations?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
Awesome.
is it cast? You can cast it at will, or is it?
It's a beast speech, so I can just cast it at will.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, so
It's like my floaty thing. So I just assume I can always speak with animals.
I would say unlike your floaty thing, you probably have to like because you probably have to like actually cast it on yourself whenever you want it, but you have that available to you at any time.
Okay, I'll just pop it up when I see her starting to go over the horse. But I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to listen in because I'm still evaluating you, ma'am, even when you talk to animals.
That's totally fair. I'll go up to the horse and I'll let her get a good sniff of me, on her muzzle, and introduce myself. And hi, I'm Mildred, and I understand that you had some small injuries the other night, and I'm so sorry. Are you feeling better?
The horse kind of tosses her head a little bit and says, yes, I'm feeling much better.
I'm very glad to hear that. Do you know what hurt you?
It was sharp.
Sharp.
And it hurt. And it came flying from behind.
You didn't see anything?
And,
did you smell anything?
You see her nostrils kind of twitch a little bit, and she says, I smelled the boy and the boss.
Which boy?
She nuzzles like her head toward Percy, the stable hand you're talking to.
And the boss.
And the boss. And
did you smell lightning?
Did I smell what?
Lightning, like ozone.
Lightning. No.
What did you hear?
I heard a crashing sound.
What about just before that?
Footsteps.
You're a very smart horse. I'll bet you
She
know
tosses
exactly
her head a little bit more and she says, I know.
I bet you know exactly whose
I would die
footsteps
for this
those were.
horse.
Say that again?
I bet you know exactly whose footsteps they were.
She deflates a little bit at that, and she says, well, I couldn't see. And I couldn't smell them very well.
But your clever ears heard something, didn't they? They heard the footsteps. I'll bet you know everyone's footsteps. Was it a stranger?
And she thinks about it, and she says, I don't think it was.
Not a stranger.
But I only heard a few steps. And I wasn't able to see anything.
Thank you a lot.
She says,
Could I pet you?
Thank you for asking.
Could I pet you?
Yes.
She
shakes her head again and she says, you may touch my mane.
I get as close as I can with my tiny height. And go up and pet and scritch and
she'll like put her head down. So you can reach to pet her mane.
She's sweet. And I'll take my leave, and then while the spell is still working, I hope.
Mm-hmm.
See, how long does this last?
10 minutes.
Speak with horse. Okay, good, because I have a few more minutes, so I'm gonna go and speak to the other twin.
Okay.
Because that one was not harnessed up and probably had a better view.
Okay.
And I'll ask most of the same questions other than, are you hurt and feeling better? Because I know that one wasn't hurt.
You're going to get pretty similar answers, and part of the reason for that is that, a lot of times when when horses are hitched to carriages, they actually have those blinders on.
Mm-hmm.
So,
It wasn't hitched up.
So that they
But
can.
this one wasn't hitched up, was it?
She wasn't hitched up yet, but they were in the process
still
of
had the
getting them
bridle.
hitched, and so she probably had a lot of the.
Didn't turn her head.
Not really. Not in time to
That's all
see anything, anyway.
That's all right. Not everybody turns their head.
Yeah.
Did
Yeah.
this one hear anything? Smell anything different?
No. Poppy, you had a question?
I was going to say, are there any like barn rats or barn cats
I'm sure
in
there
here?
are.
Could I find a barn cat?
You can absolutely find a barn cat.
However long I've got left, I'm asking whatever animals she's not getting.
I'm gonna find the barn cat. Can I grab the barn cat? Can I pet the barn cat and then take the barn cat to Mildred?
If you would like to pick up said barn cat,
Could I persuade the barn cat to come with me for questioning?
you tell me how you want to handle this. If you want to try to catch the barn cat, that's going to be some type of dexterity check. If you would like to try to, like, here, kitty, 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 that's probably an animal handling check. Or if you're using your bee speech, just be like, yo, come here, we have questions for you. That'll probably be more on the line of a persuasion check.
I want to be like, yo, come here, we have some questions for you. There is tuna, in fact, in it for you.
Okay.
Do you have? Is that a lie?
Yeah, I mean, that's a good question. Do you actually have tuna to give to this cat?
Probably a bit of leftover breakfast burrito.
DM, we know that Poppy is wildly chaotic. Do you think I don't think it's unreasonable for her to just have loose tuna.
All right, here's what we're going to do, Hannah.
But you have to explain why.
Here's what we're going to do. Because you are correct, Poppy is a very chaotic person. And,
It's not.
and you are also involved with Mork, who has a known love of tuna. By involved, I mean you have an office next door. So,
I have loose tuna in my pocket.
you are going to roll me a d20.
Okay.
If you roll a 15 or higher, you're going to be able to find one of Mork's tuna sandwiches in your pockets.
Okay.
Oh, so that's why the breakfast burritos tasted funny. There was tuna in them.
Okay. This is the most important roll of my entire life. Roll for tuna sandwich.
Roll for tuna sandwich.
Roll for tuna.
I love dragons.
I swear to God, it's a natural 20. I swear.
Yes.
I will take a picture for you. This is a natural 20 on tuna sandwich.
It's good that we're hitting these natural 20s in critical situations like this.
Definitely when you want the natural 20.
I hope the cat is just like, I don't like tuna.
I'm a vegan cat. Excuse me.
There is no such
I'm
thing.
putting it in. I'm sending it to you on Twitter because I wouldn't believe that. So
I believe you. You find not one, but 2 tuna sandwiches in your pocket.
You found a bag of holding of tuna sandwiches.
A lunchbox of holding.
because that's so unbelievable, and I know it doesn't. It happened. I promise.
The lunchbox of endless tuna.
Yeah.
I want one of those.
But it's cursed. Any cat you try to lure with it doesn't like tuna.
Oh, in fact, my cat doesn't like tuna.
Yes, you have 2 tuna sandwiches that you can find somewhere in your pockets.
I would like to persuade the barn cat to come with me for questioning with my tuna sandwich, and I would like to persuade it to come with me to Mildred.
Roll me a persuasion check with advantage because you do in fact have tuna.
All right, that's not bad.
It does not get much better.
That's
than
not
this one.
bad. That's going to be so that is a 13 plus persuasion.
Yep.
So that's an 18.
Okay. The cat slinks over to you, sniffs the tuna, and says, "Put it on the ground."
Put down and walk away.
Can Mildred be with me?
Yeah.
Put down the tuna and slowly back away from the sandwich.
I will hesitantly put down the tuna sandwich.
The cat waits until you back away and then walks forward and sort of bats the bread away. And
This cat is, in fact, my cat.
and then nibbles a little bit at the tuna. You see it chew a little bit, and then it looks up at you and says, "Your offering is acceptable."
I look at Mildred and go,
Good job. Hi, I'm Mildred. What's your name? Never mind. I haven't heard.
No, I was gonna say no. The cat looks at the stable hands and goes, "They call me Shadow. That is acceptable."
Well, thank you, Mr. and Ms. Honored neither. Am I getting a sense of any gender identity from this cat?
No, the cat's just gonna let you dig that hole for yourself.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Shadow. I was wondering if you were here and noticing during the big crash the other night.
The cat takes a bite of the tuna, chews it for a bit, and then says, "I heard a little noise."
Anything interesting at all?
Well, it woke me from a nap.
Oh my.
Yeah, it wasn't great. I need my beauty sleep. And I went out just to see what was going on. And I tripped someone. That was fun.
Good job. Do you know who it was?
No. Some human.
What did they look like?
They were wearing all dark clothes. I couldn't see their face.
Did they go to meet anyone else after you tripped them?
They were headed for the gate, but I didn't follow them.
Did you see the master of the house at all?
I did. He was headed toward the big house. Well, the small house.
look at Mildred.
What?
This cat is simultaneously full of information and full of nothing.
Tuna.
And full of tuna.
The cat like finishes eating all the tuna off of this sandwich,
I
and
think
then
they're
does a.
You have another sandwich, don't you?
Yeah, but you're supposed to keep that on the table in case you need to use it for collateral later.
Okay. Do I have any end bits of my breakfast burrito? I don't think I finished all of it.
Yeah, if you want to have a few little bits of burrito left, that's fine.
Yeah, I take out a little piece of sausage and put it down in the offering spot in the hope that the cat will stay a little longer.
The cat sniffs at it and like nibbles a piece off and then says, "Less acceptable."
Uh-oh.
If
Sorry,
I
that's all
give
I
you
had.
the other sandwich, will you tell us more?
I'll stay.
I'll slowly put down the tuna sandwich.
Does Zone of Truth work on cats?
I believe there's a minimum intelligence requirement that a cat will pass.
Cats absolutely meet that requirement. don't
Are you telling me this cat is not, in fact, does it have a +5 modifier to intelligence? I would believe it.
This cat is definitely the smartest person in the room, and I know because they are a cat.
The cat, when you put the other tuna sandwich, it quickly bats the bread off of that one too, and then starts eating the tuna.
This cat is a lot like Corona. Corona
Now, don't
is
be
cat.
insulting good cats like that.
Cat
The thing
is
is-
Corona.
The thing is, when cats are arrogant, it's deserved.
The cat finishes eating the tuna and says, "All right, you have my attention."
Thank you so much. Did you hear or smell anything that's out of the usual just before the crash? Did anything invade your dreams?
Well, I was asleep in the stables, so
How about after? Did you smell anyone you didn't know?
well, whoever that person in the mask was.
In a mask. Thank you. That is very valuable information. Do you prefer to be petted in banks or left alone?
I prefer to be left alone.
I respect that. Thank you so much for your time.
You're welcome. And the cat runs away, and you see it like hop up into on like a shelf or something and curl up, just watching you, its tail twitching.
So it can look down on us for the rest of the night.
Yeah.
I look up at the cat and I go, you know what? I respect that cat.
While
Yeah.
that was the animal talking was going on, can Red cast contact other plane again?
I mean, yes.
Oh my god, oh my god.
I think
oh my
he would
God.
like feel useless during that and just like start doing it.
If you have the spell slots, you may absolutely cast Contact Other Plane again.
As a ritual, yeah.
Yeah?
Bless you.
Yeah, you can do
Bless
that
you.
ritual. Go
Ditto.
ahead. Give me that saving throw.
Let's go. Come on. I forgot which one I rolled with last time, so who knows. Okay. That's a 13 plus saving.
Intelligence.
Intelligence, that's 17.
Okay, yeah. So you pass again. So you feel that connection. I would almost describe it as like a door opening in the back of your mind somewhere, right?
A
Like-
different entity this time?
No.
Hey, I just realized that I might have been rude earlier. I didn't even... How's it going?
One of your questions.
Just call in chat.
You kind of get the sense of like dark humor, and then you hear the word you hear is swimmingly.
Back to the Kraken.
What do you got planned for soon? I don't know how time works there.
What you wearing?
It says
Texting Cthulhu, you up?
it says domination.
Oh. You wouldn't know how to dominate a very rich person on the material plane named Corona, would you?
The response is absolutely.
Come on, you're playing with fire, my dude.
Would you like to help me do that?
Maybe.
What do I, side note, because I only have one question left. What do I know about my patron, if anything?
You don't really know a whole lot about your patron. You're a great old one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't really know, because I think you said you found this book and occasionally you get insights or information out of it. There are certain things you've recognized, like you've seen this symbol in your book before, or something very close to it.
Yeah.
The Water Davian logo.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't know for sure who or what your patron is.
Okay, so it's a pretty good chance I'll be cheating on my patron with whatever this is.
It's possible.
Unless this is your patron.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Well, yeah, but
it's possible that this is your patron. It's also possible that you are, yes, effectively cheating on your patron.
what was my last question? I just forgot it.
You asked if it would help you to dominate Corona, and it said maybe.
I think it'd be pretty fun for both of us if we did this, but what would I need to do to get your help? And thank you so much for asking these questions. I will probably talk to you later.
The answer you get back is sacrifice.
Oh.
And on that note, we're going to end for the night because that's a great place to stop.
It's getting real here in Dungeons and Deductibles.
I love warlocks.
Wow. This is why I don't play one.
Warlocks are so fun.
Warlocks are fun. Warlocks are
People are
fun.
terrifying.
I love making up warlock.
We're just social, okay?
That's part of the terrifying. Yes.
So
I like to think of it as having a magical sugar daddy.
yeah, except in your case, one that wants to harvest you.
Well,
A little give and take.
Anyway, so that's where we're gonna stop, and we'll see you next week. I'm gonna let everyone. We're gonna go around real quick. Anyone who has anything to promote, anything you want to say, fun facts, whatever strikes your fancy. We will start with Cintiu.
Hi. So I'm on the Fox and Penguin show. That's their Twitch channel on Mondays, except for this coming Monday. Playing Grackle, a goblin rogue, as we delve into the Dungeon of the Mad Mage. And that's the Fox and Penguin show Mondays at 1 p.m. Pacific time, 4 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. UTC, which is Greenwich time.
Awesome. And Jake.
Hi, you can find me on Twitter at Jake Friday. I haven't used that platform in a while. You can find me on Instagram at Jake of the Friday, and you can find me on Venture Ventures. Possibly going to start streaming again, but we started playing a Descent into Avernus game this week, and didn't stream it, but gonna put it out in podcast form and on YouTube. So check that out. We got an interesting group who almost died because level 1 characters have a light grasp on life. But they made it.
That's good. Robert.
All right. You can find me on my Twitch channel, KY Hawkeye. Tomorrow night, 6 p.m. Eastern Time, U.S., adjust your time zones accordingly, will be my continuing Skyrim serial. Currently, we're doing a story called The Dark Thalmor, where we have a member of the Aldemiri Dominion who is searching for Daedric relics and artifacts, among other things, going to be happening with him. Saturday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, U.S., adjust your time zones accordingly, is Saving Throw Wrestling, where various DMs, GMs, and RPG players from across the Twitch universe meet in the Dice Tray, the nickname we have for our wrestling ring in our WWE 2K19 universe. We just had our Big Bad Con pay-per-view last Saturday. And we'll be going with our regular matches will be happening starting up again with new rivalries, as we had 2 title changes, both the tag team and the singles championship changed hands on the pay-per-view. Tuesday nights at 6 p.m. it is my Lego stream. We'll be doing next week. We'll be doing our last time in the DC Supervillains game, and get ready to choose another one to work our way through. RPG wise, Sunday nights, 7 p.m. on Tales from the Grim, I'm in a Star Trek Continuing in Missions adventure where I play the Chief Science Officer. I'm a joined Trill by the name of Malachi Jabez. On Tuesday nights at 9 p.m. on Fellowship of the Tables, I'm in Rise of the Rune Lords, a Pathfinder series that the DM has converted to D&D 5th edition. And then on Friday nights, 10 p.m., Roll Zero Gaming, I'm playing a character there on Trials of Discontentment. We're wrapping up a short-term adventure there. So other than that, Cancer Cleric by day, RPG Fanboy by night.
Mm-hmm. And Hannah.
Hi, I'm Hannah, Asbestos Tito's on Instagram, Miss Murphy on... or Asbestos Tito's on Twitter, Miss Murphy on Instagram. Don't have anything. This is the only really streaming thing I do. But if you want to check out my Instagram for really gorgeous historic preservation related things, please do. Also in November, I will be going to the Night in Question LARP. If anyone's going, hit me up. It's going to be fun. We're all going to die. It's going to be great. So that's me.
Always a good time. And I'm Danielle,
murdered.
Your friendly neighborhood DM. You can catch me lots of other places. On Friday nights, you can catch me here on Variant Roles, where I play Harmony Ward in our Dresden Files RPG game known as the Portland Files. Harmony is a major disaster wizard. Generally a good time. This Saturday in particular, you can catch me on at Scraticus's channel at 1 p.m. for part of Academy Day, where I will be playing in a bayou-themed adventure. Not sure what's going to happen there, but excited to find out. You can also catch me regularly on every Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time at Other Doc's channel, where I play in an Invisible Sun game called The Edge of Paradox. I play Vormera Vanis, who is extremely charismatic and really good at fooling herself into believing things that aren't real, so maybe has a little bit in common with Red. And then of course on Tuesdays for the next 3 weeks, or 2 weeks? 2 weeks. We're almost done. You can still catch me on at Scraticus's channel for my D&D 5e game, The Choir of Elements, which is a tier 3 game. Where they are currently romping through the elemental plane of air, and they are about to try to stop a wizard from killing a very, very large bird. So we'll see how that goes next week. And yeah, you can follow me online at RyRacontor on Twitter. I tweet a lot about fun things, I think. So yes. Also, just as a quick heads up, if you like this game, please go down below and find Variant Roles is Patreon. All the links and everything are down there. Anything that you can give to help is great, because this channel is run as a community, and we need your support to continue doing all of these amazing shows. Like tomorrow night is VHS, I think is the name of it. Which is the really creepy Cypher System game. which I have heard amazing things about. So you should definitely tune again tomorrow night. That's it, and we will see you next week. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye, y'all.